Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Munfrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you are listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Munfrey, and this is It, We Will Fix It in Post. I am here with my co-hosts, Carson Hype Ferguson and Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
Today, we're talking about a recent situation that has rocked Hollywood to its core. The shooting that happened on the New Mexico film set of the low-budget film Rush that starred Alec Baldwin and he also produced it as well. This is a situation that hasn't happened in over, 30 years?
I don't know.
I know Brandon Lee was the last.
When was The Crow? Was that Crow done?
Early 90s.
Is it 30 years? Because I thought The Crow was like 2000s.
No, that was in the 90s.
Okay, all right.
For real?
The Crow was definitely in the 90s.
What? 90 what?
I don't want to say because then I'll be showing my age. And
No, you won't. You talk about
What?
a situation, man. You got Google.
I don't.
Wait,
wanna
look it up on Google.
Look, how
and
do you tell people you're old without telling people you're old?
I don't want to talk about it because I haven't shown my age.
Well, they don't know it. So
you like, hey, I looked this up right now.
And hey, I'm not fit to go out. I know it's the 90s because I remember.
So is it early or late 90s?
It's not late 90s. It's probably early to mid 90s.
I don't know about that.
Feel like it's maybe. You got a phone right there. You could Google right now.
Hey, you got your phone.
No, I don't.
Man, whatever.
But
I don't want to do it.
Anyway, so how did you all find out?
Oh, like I found out I was on Clubhouse and somebody said something about it because I had a media blackout day, and then I was like I saw like one of my buddies. I got a notification one of my buddies was like in a little Clubhouse room, and then whenever there's like a hot topic or something that just happened, he'll do like an immediate reaction room, and then I was like what? And then I started like delving into it and trying to figure out all the information or whatever, and then more stuff started coming out. Like a couple of days ago, the girl that was the armorer started pointing fingers back.
Well, I mean, isn't it about time? Like that train ain't never late. Somebody got to take fault for it. Nope, not me. It's your fault.
I'm like, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Like everybody's at fault. Everybody. Like that dealt with the weapons. Everybody's at fault. Even some of the crew that knew about the situation is gonna probably assume some kind of fault. Maybe not liability, but some kind of fault though.
I can see like liability. I mean, because Alec Baldwin's production company.
Oh, he's exposed.
Yeah,
he's mad exposed.
And I mean, the armorer. I think the young lady you were talking about. This is like her second film.
Yeah, like her first one. Like her dad is like a big time cat. Like as far as doing that, and I guess they were trying to do the whole like lineage kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that, and I mean it's like her second. And I can almost see that you would think she would. Okay, her dad has been doing it for years. You would have thought he'd have took that knowledge down to her.
That don't mean nothing.
She still has to be like guarded or still taught, even though what you said it was her second film.
Yeah. Like her first one was with Nicolas Cage.
Right. So I'm saying somebody else still should have been on set to guide her, to make sure, go behind her, to go make sure that she was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
And
I mean, but
the
there's supposed to be some kind of
apprentice.
There's probably supposed to be some kind of apprenticeship program or something like that, right?
Yeah, but you know how it is in Hollywood. Oh, if my parents
networking.
did this.
No,
then
I don't. I don't. I'm not in Hollywood, so I don't know how it is in Hollywood.
But you brought up the Nicolas Cage film because I saw something recently where like Nicolas Cage went off on her, I think twice, because I guess when she was
when she was like I heard when she checked the weapons,
the guns,
she would go and shoot them off to check them,
to
see if they fired or something like that.
Yeah,
and then like allegedly that one went off close to his head and like he's like cursed at her about his eardrums.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing about it. Oh, VA, how'd you find out?
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Oh,
before
okay.
we delve too far off.
Oh, okay. Social media. That's how I found out about it. In the news. It's all
So-
over the news.
Initial thoughts?
You know, it is crazy the fact that, you know, somebody lost their life over that. To me, if I'm running the camera and I'm doing my job, gun goes off, and in my mind, it's supposed to be, oh, okay, I'm safe on my set, I'm just doing my job, and I end up getting hurt. That's a problem.
Your initial thoughts, Carson?
I think, like, first and foremost, like, condolences to the family
Definitely.
of the victim. And then the fact that maybe this is a larger problem. I mean, because, we want in some circles or whatever, we want to talk about like guns being bad and all this stuff, but then we're kind of we're perpetuating like, bad stereotypes and all that stuff. If there's multiple issues with the whole gun thing on set and then live rounds, allegedly multiple live rounds being found on set too. That's a problem. And then there's like a gun safety problem in there. There's a bunch of problems in there.
Bunch of red flags.
Yeah.
So
big time.
Like, I know in film you want it to be as close to realistic as possible, but we know it's not real, but you want it to deal with that line. So as far as like guns, I mean, do you think this will kind of like turn it down to like maybe we just use BB guns?
To an
Or-
extent, they're still gonna, find a way around it. Oh, we're gonna make sure we're safer on set. We're gonna go through these protocols and see what we need to do to change stuff to make it safer on set.
But all they had to do was follow the protocols that are in place. I actually get upset at like, companies that get into safety situations and they're like, oh, we're gonna do X to make everything happy.
Try to cut corners.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, but if you had followed all your regulations and all that stuff to begin with, you wouldn't be in this situation.
And it's not like a norm. I mean, you hear a lot of accidents that happen on set, but not like this.
Nah.
So I mean, like back when, again, we were referencing The Crow, when that happened, I mean, there was significant changes that happened after that.
Yeah.
And you never. Now, another thing I was thinking about, you don't necessarily know who the armorer was or whoever was supposed to handle the guns on set during The Crow. But with social media and the internet,
Right.
we all know who the maybe all three of the people who were supposed to check that gun. So how do they work again after this?
At least three. You got Baldwin, you got the armorer, and allegedly the AD.
I don't believe the actor is supposed to check the gun.
Like there's some actors or whatever, they'll have the AD or armorer like open the gun up to check to see if there's like there actually blanks. There's actually some actors that demand it.
Oh,
Do they
there's a
have
lot-
to demand it though?
They don't have to demand it, but there's a process. I don't know what the process actually is, but in that process, they have the right.
Right. But I'm saying if they don't have to.
But look.
And honestly, they may not even be thinking about it.
At the end of the day, if you point a weapon at somebody, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's real or not. You do suffer the consequences on what happens on the other side. And then I understand people's sentiment toward like not necessarily blaming Alec Baldwin, but I'm like, yo, he is an executive producer and typically the money guy, is like kind of out of it. But when you're on set, you're kind of guiding that whole thing. You're like more liable than possibly a regular producer because you're an actor in it too.
Now, as an actor, I don't necessarily count him necessarily liable, but still,
No,
he
I
has
just
to
said possibly.
live.
I just said
He just
possibly.
still has to live with that.
Oh yeah. Like so one of the number one gun safety rules is treat every weapon like it's loaded. I know people that like they trip on their kids if their kids point Nerf guns at people.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to be. Like I never really like, thought about it like, super stressfully. But they're like, yeah, you ain't shooting at other kids with this Nerf gun. You can shoot at the wall. That's it.
Yeah, and I believe that teaches you kind of
Yeah.
To
So
respect-
like you respect anything that, resembles a gun.
Right. But everybody doesn't do that though.
Yeah.
So
oh no.
because water guns, whatever.
No, I got you. Cause man, I shot fireworks at other kids.
Right.
Yeah, I have too.
I still do it. I'm grown.
No, I don't do it no more.
No, really.
not on purpose anyway.
No, I don't do that no more. But
Burning money.
yeah, literally. But like, how do you work after? I mean, like I said, your I mean, even the young lady, she was on a podcast talking about this project Rust, and she talking about how nervous she was, and that has gone out.
Yeah.
To media, like, how do you work after that? I don't know if you can like.
She doesn't
take a year off.
No,
maybe
she doesn't work anymore.
You know, they get all in this industry.
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think of like 10, 15 years later.
As an armorer?
I mean,
who's going to insure you?
I mean,
yeah, that's a good question. That's
not as a head one though.
You see that?
Like not any armor. Like I'm not hiring you. You got a safety like I mean, I'm sorry. That's just no. I'm just saying, like, you know, looking at not based on her. I'm saying if it happened to anybody. I'm saying based on your track record, like, you know, you've had, you know, issues, alleged incident. Like, I want to make sure I say that you've had alleged incidents before, and then we know you had this incident now that resulted in somebody's death, and it's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to make sure I remove that variable outside of my film set. I'm not even gonna introduce that. I'm not gonna take a chance.
And then you gotta think, how many times does this actually happen in film?
Very few.
Not a lot.
Or very few that we know about. I'll just say it like that.
Like, notably, I've heard, which media outlets have been talking about 3 to maybe 4. So it hasn't even happened 5 times. So I'm thinking, as far as, like I said, insurance, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm like, why take the risk?
Right.
There's nobody else to hire. You can't just get a weapon expert off the street. I mean, that's like, you know, got time in.
I mean, yeah,
because you can train somebody on the film side.
Yeah,
easy.
But I'm saying I'm pretty sure she might get a job later on down the line. I mean, it might not be a big job or anything that's.
I mean, this one wasn't a big. This is a low budget film.
Yeah, but it was still Alec Baldwin. It was still like a major film, though.
I'm sorry.
Like, as far as names, Alec Baldwin's name's going to be first when talked about this film.
Right.
Her name is second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the first thing you think. Well, who dealt with the guns? First, her name is the first. Her name is always the one that pops up. And the internet ain't going anywhere.
I mean, to the point where you have to actually look to find, you know, again, rest in peace, Helena Hutchins. Yeah, like, you know, again, rest in peace to Helena and the family.
But like, when you were like, because you work with like music videos, Victoria, and you know, a lot of rap videos, they like to point their little guns out in front of them.
Yeah, I've done several videos. I wasn't uneasy. That's because I've been around guns before.
Oh, you ain't pointing no gun at me. We can set the camera right there, hit record, and you can do your little bang bang stuff. But you ain't.
See, that would be my thing.
Hell no.
I'll be pressing record. Hey, y'all ready? All right, get it. Gangster style. Do your thing, buddy.
But at the same time, I understand that. I don't do it anymore, but I understand that. But at the same time, when I was doing those, I was more into the shot and what was going on. I wasn't really thinking about, oh, they're pointing a gun at me. Is it loaded?
Oh no, like you ain't pointing no gun at me.
No, I know you.
I'm saying like that's my mentality, just being around guns though.
Yeah. Okay.
So was there like, okay, before you would do those shots, like, what was there anything that you were like, okay, let me see?
Don't incriminate yourself.
Well, we want to name the artist now. Like, you would look to see if it's loaded, or like, were there any steps you would take?
None of that.
So you was kind of taking a risk, even by doing those shoots.
Yeah, but I mean,
it only takes a few pounds of pressure, and one dude jump a little too high, it land a little too hard, and
I said, I don't do it anymore. Okay, if I ever do videos again, I'm not going to do that. But at the time, it wasn't really.
If you're gonna do videos, I would suggest you do classical music videos. I don't know if that's a thing. Like jazz.
Look, classical piano.
Yep,
it's really nice.
Sit right at the piano.
Boring.
It's a temperature.
You gotta get real creative.
It's in a temperature controlled environment.
No. Absolutely. You get all types of shots. You You'll be amazed how creative you can be when you just got to get one shot of a person sitting at a piano.
That's boring.
I'm sure you can make it work.
I mean, I could, but that's still boring.
Like, y'all want to do with the piano?
I need
pull a
some-
gun out.
I need some more action.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, there's a cat on YouTube I've been watching on the piano. There's actually two of them. One of them, he does like this the Michael Jackson cover for Bad, and then he does Smooth Criminal. He does a bunch of like older R&B songs. He got like 3 or 4 Michael Jackson songs, and it's good. And he's like he's like be slapping or whatever, and it's creative the way the video shot is good.
I mean, I'll probably do a saxophone. Somebody playing saxophone. I might do a video from that. There's a chick on. Her name is Sax Bay. That's her name. But
Sax Bay.
She plays with me.
No, I've heard of her. I haven't really watched anything. I be like, as far as like the performers and stuff like that. There's one girl here in Nashville. I'm not gonna mention her name, but she does. There's another one that's Pocket Queen. She does the drums.
Oh, she's a drummer.
Yeah, and she like has a bunch of loops or whatever that she's like been putting out. Where having people like, hey, go ahead and sample this. So like basically giving permission. I'm like, yo, that's pretty smart.
I feel like you showed me some of her work.
Probably.
You or VA?
Probably.
Not sure. But you all heard the term like all publicity is good or is good publicity.
That is a lie.
Oh, this ain't good publicity.
That is a straight up lie.
lie.
I mean, honestly, before no one heard about this film. I didn't know Alec Baldwin was working on the film.
Well, what do we really know when he's working on anything except for SNL?
It's a good point. But like, do you think they should finish the film?
No. For what? What they gonna finish it for? For it to flop?
I
'Cause
mean,
it's gonna flop.
I mean,
With all
you
this-
would
with
think
all
with
this going
all
on
this
with
going
it?
on, people go, okay,
Wait,
let's,
hold on. This is the same person that said old girl gonna work again. Like 10, 15 years. But
Yeah,
she
she
talking about
might,
the
but I'm
film's gonna
saying
flop.
the film has too much bad press on it anyways.
I mean, The Crow did well.
Not showing your age, but did they come out?
Now I'm gonna show it. I'll put his ID on the screen.
And that's why you don't have it.
Hey, I can't wait for your Hallmark movie to come out though. I'm gonna be promote.
Hey, keep it moving. We ain't even talking about that. Keep it moving.
I'm gonna be the #1 fan for you.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
won't.
be like,
We ain't talking. Ain't nothing Hallmark about the
Look,
situation.
I'm gonna get some still images. That might be a promo for a Christmas card.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why I haven't talked about it.
We're gonna have like Kevin's like still image in a snow globe.
oh, I'm tagging him and everything.
Put it in a snow
Do you hear
globe.
me?
Man, y'all gonna get blocked. And it's gonna be sad.
We're gonna be ringling.
I don't want to have to block y'all, but I will.
Had that Mariah Carey song in the background.
No, you're not.
Oh,
No, you're
man.
not. Be like, yo, we want to hit this page. I don't know. They can't because they're blocked.
Man.
But I was like, that was the first thing I thought when I saw this. Well, once I was clear with the situation, because when I first saw it, I think I saw like on a news ticker. I thought there was a shooting on the set, like some sort of mass shooting. But once I realized it was a,
Somebody got to be real upset with whoever on set.
I
just
mean,
come in there and start shooting at 'em.
we live in a tense time. It's not above approach to believe something like that would happen.
Yeah, man, like isolate the town. I mean, like, because the first thing I try to do is like not go to judgments. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. You're not supposed to have live rounds. Maybe it's an issue with the blank. I don't know.
And I think they just reported that it was a live round found.
Well, there's been conflicting stories, and it's really weird, like how I've seen some of the reporting. There's been conflicting elements, like both ways.
Yeah, that's because I've seen one or two that like yes, there was a live round,
But I did hear allegedly, because I can't confirm this, but allegedly the sheriff that actually did pick up like 500 live rounds.
500.
Yeah.
What kind of gun was it?
Some kind of revolver, like a Colt 45, I think, is what I've heard, allegedly. Everything's alleged.
I would hope because I mean, why would
Everything's
you have,
alleged. Hey.
why would you have 500?
Hey, allegedly, Kevin.
Real.
Allegedly,
Don't
VA.
say my name. Don't say
Allegedly,
my name.
VA.
Ain't nowhere.
Don't say my
nowhere
name.
near this.
Alleged.
Like, why would you have 500 live rounds?
Allegedly.
Yeah, if he did, because I would think you would practice with blanks.
I would allegedly practice with blanks.
That's you though.
Alleged.
But
That's
okay.
allegedly me. Come on, let's say it with me. Allegedly.
Yeah, let me ask you this: since you're a director, when how if you're shooting something that involves guns, how well versed do you believe the director should be with guns?
Oh, very well. Why would I go on my set and not know what's going on? That's just like when The Grinch came out with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
What was the director's name?
I don't remember who directed.
He was in dang. My mind went blank. Well, anyways, he dressed up as the Grinch along with Jim Carrey just to, show him that, I'm going through the same thing that you're going through, because he said, he had to put on the contacts, all the makeup and stuff like that. So me personally, I would, I'm gonna go check everything.
You gonna go that far?
Yeah, I would check
You gonna put on a prosthetic?
Put on a what?
The prosthetic? Like the mask and contacts?
Yeah, if it's gonna make my main actor or actress comfortable. If they're not, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you that I'm right there with you. That's just me.
That's nice.
Because I was listening, and I bring this up because I was listening to an interview with Ava DuVernay, and she doesn't like guns on set. She's only had them on one set, and that was Selma. But she said somebody on the set gave her one of the prop guns, and she was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So if I don't know what I'm looking at, why am I have it on? No, why have it on the set if I don't understand what?
Does that I would ask, like, where does that come from though? Is that like, a place where you don't want to deal with it at all?
No, I think it's just like somebody gave, like, I don't even think she thought about it until
it was handed
to her. To like, let's make sure, just making sure, wanted to show her like, okay, the blank is all blanks and everything. But she's like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
So, I mean, maybe that shows like kind of a culture of, not respecting the guns too. And I'm not saying on Ava's part, I'm saying like on that particular set, because we do know that the crew did walk off the set.
Right.
I believe it was mostly all the union people. They walked off the set because of unsafe conditions.
Yeah. Now,
and,
I don't
everything else.
I don't know if that crew came back or.
Well, it was a mixture. It was a mixture. It was a mixed set. So you had union and non-union.
Which that could also be volatile because, I mean, once you kind of have like a set kind of continuality, and kind of get a sense of what's going on. Now you got to reteach new people. So that can kind of hold you back.
Well, I don't think they replaced them. I think it was just there were people that were there already.
Just on hold for just in case.
Maybe, or just part of the set.
I don't know. I've heard that. I don't know how much that will play in effect because I don't know if those were crew people that involved with the gun.
Nah, probably not. But that, honestly, that's probably why you have to have an armor anyway, right? Because you're dealing with SAG actors and union people, and they're really specific about what they need.
And this is like right after, literally this situation happened the week after they kind of signed
the agreement.
Now, what could throw a wrench in this is that deal isn't ratified, and there are people within that union who's not happy with that deal that they cut out.
I don't know if that, because it's a low budget and there's specific cutouts specifically for low budget.
Yes, there is. Yes, sir.
No budget, so it's kind of under the radar anyway. And a lot of actors,
but the situation isn't under the radar.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But
how could you not use this?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that didn't happen, so they didn't follow the rules anyway.
Right, they cut a lot of corners, so it wasn't.
There's no way they could have followed all the rules.
Right, I know.
Yeah. And then with it being low budget, you trying to get it done as probably quickly as you can.
Quick and cheap.
Save money. That's what they were trying to do.
Quick and cheap, like fast food. But it's not quick and it's not cheap. I'm sorry, I just wanted to add that. Yeah, fast food ain't cheap.
Depends on where you go.
Get you in the long run.
Depends on where you go.
Get you one of the meals. Get you a number 3 from anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
It ain't gonna be cheap. It ain't gonna be cheap and it ain't gonna be fast.
It's gonna be under $10. Huh?
That don't mean it's cheap.
Nah, that's
It's
cheap for me.
I mean, hey, you get what you pay for too. When you be hungry in 3 hours, come holler at me.
I think we have different ideas of what considered cheap is.
Under $10 is cheap.
Yeah, I don't think
Compared
that's the case
to
for
1950s.
We not in 19.
That's a lot.
In relation.
That's a long time ago.
No, but I'm saying like if you scaled up that whatever, I'm like, yo, okay, if a meal was like around $3 or $4, to me that would be cheap. A $3 or $4 meal would be cheap.
What's a meal that's going to run you $3?
That'd be cheap. A cheap meal.
No, I'm saying what? I cannot picture like a salad.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yo, I can go to a grocery store right now, and I can get better food, more portion, for cheaper than most fast food restaurants.
What are you eating?
What are you talking about? If you go get a meal from a fast food restaurant, I can go to a grocery store right now and get a meal, ready-made meal at the grocery store. I'll have more food and it'll actually be cheaper.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get you. What are you getting from this store?
What, from the grocery store? I know you can get like a chicken strip meal. You can get like, a meat and 2 sides and a roll and a drink. For
You're talking about when you go up to the thing that's already cooked.
Yeah.
For $3 to $4.
No. I'm saying for
that's where I was stuck
I'm saying cheaper than the fast food. But I'm saying to me, a cheap meal will be like $3 to $4 would be a cheap meal. Anything above that ain't cheap no more.
Man, we in inflation. You ain't getting nothing for $4.
Exactly.
But
anything under 10, that's my rule.
That is,
it's
and
cheap.
honestly, if we weren't in inflation, I would have asked you to lower that down to about 8. Under $10 is honestly, it's probably a correct number. But so, do you think there should be any charges?
Somebody needs to be.
Somebody's gonna be held accountable. Somebody's be held accountable
because we know, liable. Oh, it's gonna be lawsuits all over the place. But
liability. There's no question. I'm like, I don't know. It depends on the actual circumstance. All the things we know right now is kind of hearsay. We don't know any definites, and then we probably won't know until something goes to court, possibly. So, but the sheriff said charges could be filed.
Yeah, and they did a briefing a few days ago. Yeah, charges. They said charges for anyone is not off the table. But in what situation could you see it to where, like the armorer is facing charges? Because I don't think she'll get like murder or anything. Or
no, it'd be like a negligent homicide. Like if somebody was like driving DUI or something like that and killed somebody, it might be something like that, or criminal negligence, or I don't know, something possibly could be like
now it's just just for Alec Baldwin having the production company, do you think he could face negligent charges?
I mean,
yeah,
he's open. He's open because, like, he's one of the money people. If he saw the unsafe condition or took part in the unsafe condition, and ultimately his hand was on the gun at the time that the incident happened.
Like, I feel like as a company, and I think this is the least likely as far as like criminal. I think Alec Baldwin's probably least likely because
how would he be least likely?
I don't know, because ultimately the gun was in his hand. So, like, if it's not in his hand that day, we're not having this conversation.
Yeah, but I can also, because you take this to court and go, why would he legally, like, he could is there precedents where actors normally checking the gun, and it's not a normal.
I mean, but if there are any cases where actors do check the gun,
but if I'm a lawyer, I would probably use that as like that's probably an actor who's used to being around guns.
Okay, here's the thing too. Here's another thing that I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said there's been several misfires on that set, and that was one of the reasons why people were upset. That's one of the reasons why people were upset and walked off.
Now, would that be more so towards the armorer?
No, but if you're the actor and you know this happened or whatever, now you got a powder keg of woulda, shoulda, couldas, and like you knew this was happening. And you did nothing about it. and you're the money guy. You can pull the purse strings.
Now, as a producer, I'm right there with you.
Right.
I still don't think that but like as an actor,
but you're also the actor, and you had your hand on it. You can affect anything that goes on that set, and there's no way of saying that he can't. Oh, he don't have the power. He was just hired. Nope. Because
but I can also argue like that armor, having those armors, and I guess the second AD, that he had every reason to trust those people, that even with them misfiring, that they're getting it right by the time he's got the gun in his hand.
That's very generous.
But some people, I understand that. If you have those other people who are supposed to be doing their job, then
yeah, because I'm thinking if 3 people have checked this gun, and I believe it's 3 people, at least that's what I've heard. But 2 to 3 people, if multiple people have checked this gun, I'm feeling now. I don't think this will be the case anymore.
Here's another issue too. Okay, so one of the things that I allegedly heard that allegedly happened. Actually, that's better spoken. One of the things that I heard that allegedly happened was that the armorer wasn't loading the weapon, and the either AD or second AD or whatever, the second AD or something like that, was the one that actually handed Baldwin the weapon.
Well, then you need to look at that person too.
And I'm like, well, what's the protocol? What's the protocol? And if the protocol wasn't followed, does the actor know that the protocol wasn't followed?
And that's the thing. You would have to prove that.
Well, I don't know. It'd probably be easier to prove that, because especially if you had negligence before on set, allegedly.
Yeah, I think that would be more. To me, that sounds like that's more so toward, as far as criminally, would be towards maybe that AD, especially the armor. Because as an actor, this probably shouldn't be the case.
Here's another thing too. Who hired a director? And if Baldwin had anything to do with any of the choosing of the director or anything like that, that's another kind of big point too.
As the producer, that's probably 2 or 3 ways they could.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm like, criminally too, you got to look at it like that. And I'm not saying that like, oh, they would just charge him straight out with murder. Like more.
I don't think anybody.
That's extremely unlikely, and nobody. But negligent homicide would probably be more probable.
Right, somebody's gonna get charged. Like somebody's gonna get charged with it. But
and I've heard like a lot of people online like making an argument about like who's more at blame. I was like, blame is to go around, and I'm like, ultimately, if let's take this off a movie set and let's put this at a firing range. If an accidental discharge happened in a firing range, the person that pointed the weapon in an unsafe direction would be ultimately the one that would suffer the consequences. It wouldn't matter that somebody handed them and said, oh, it's good or whatever. Ultimately, you're responsible for the projectile that comes out that weapon. And if you practice safe, weapons handling, again, we don't have this conversation. Because it's almost
so is that different?
It's almost like
than it is on a movie set, though, right? Because the actor does not have to check.
Yeah, but he's got 30 years of experience though, and I'm like,
and he's probably had 30 years of not having to check a gun.
So that points to another bigger problem, and then that's what the prosecution, if it goes to that, would argue, hey, so you've routinely not done the right thing.
And they would they could probably get 9 or 10 other actors to go, yeah, I think that shows more of an industry issue. And that may,
but it's the same thing if I go to a store or whatever to slip and fall, and somebody's like, oh, that happens all the time, like, yeah, they mop the floor and don't put up a sign, or whatever.
There's slip, yeah. Now there's that, because I mean, eventually once or twice we're going to put the floor wet sign, and if they don't, then yes, that's on them. Now, if this was a continuance of something,
and we all know, stores, businesses, or whatever, where bad things happen, and it just happens to continue to slide until it doesn't.
And
right,
see,
this is probably the point where it doesn't slide anymore.
Because I to a degree, because I feel like certain actors would probably want, because it would be hard now. You have this situation on the brain, and you're on the set, and I'm like, "Hey, VA, I think we're all good now. Here, you go ahead. We're gonna get ready to shoot." You're gonna look at that gun a little differently.
So our like right now where we are, what we're talking about, where a lot of people are talking about, where even before any changes happen, we are right here at the precipice. The same thing that people did right after the Brandon Lee incident. And after a certain amount of time, people forgot. But if we practice proper gun safety, we don't have this conversation.
You're right. But, going back to the same thing, if they don't have to check it, they're not going to check it. If
Look,
if they don't have to.
I get you. Humans do what's easy. Typically. We get lazy over time, whatever, but hey, always gotta remain vigilant.
I think that's a good way to end it. I am once again Kevin Mumphrey with Victoria V.A. Jones.
Good afternoon.
And Karsten Hyde Ferguson.
Yep.
This is We Will Fix It in Post, and that is a wrap.